All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tales and Tunes, the show where we tell the tales behind the tunes, the stories behind the songs, the show where we take one take and one take only. There's already enough perfection in this world. Let's go for some proper authenticity. Well, now we got that intro out of the way. Let's talk about today's song, eh? It's a beautiful sunny day. It's about -4 degrees when I look outside, but sun for the first time in Holland for about 5 years. So, or what feels like 5 years at least. So, happy with that. And let's just crack on and get this episode going, hey? Harry Styles, As It Was. It's a song that I've heard on the radio a shitload of times. It is maybe in the same range as Flowers by Miley Cyrus and all of the Dua Lipa songs. It just comes by so many times. And because of that, I don't know, I talked about it with Game of Thrones the other episode, and it turns me off a little bit because it just gets shoved down your throat, and it's it's not a pleasant experience. But then I started doing some research, and I want to, connect a little bit with the younger demographic of this world through the channel of Tales and Tunes. So I thought, all right, who's a pop artist that can relate a little bit to the younger audience? And Harry Styles came along. Nah, that's all a little bit joking, of course, but also a little bit the truth. Anyway, I started going into his songs, and man, there's some good songs in there, man. And some songs that work super, super well on acoustic guitars. So there was a whole new world that opened up to me. I already knew a little bit about Harry Styles. I saw him come by on my Instagram, Algorithm. Clips of his live concerts and performances, and fuck me, I started to love that guy, man. It is I'm going too quick. I'm already ahead of myself here. Harry Styles, Harry Edward Styles, born in 1994, so that means he's 29 at the moment. His career started off by him doing an audition on X Factor, not making it. He sang Hey Soul Sister first, and it was horrible. And then Simon Cowell, the good old Simon, the talent scout and the judge, he said, all right, you know what, that wasn't quite it, but you got potential, so do you have any other song that you could sing? And he said, well, I got Stevie Wonder, Isn't She Lovely? And it didn't sound too great either. It was, Isn't she lovely? So English. But his stage presence, it was unbelievable. He had such a cool atmosphere around, charisma, I guess. And they loved the guy. And it was the same with all the other fuckers from One Direction. And by the way, me judging that performance doesn't mean that I can do better, by the way. Yeah? I'm just judging. There might be a bit of jealousy behind it, but just a tad. And it's also just because I'm exaggerating this a little bit, so that where they come now is just even more ridiculous. Because they formed One Direction. Harry Styles actually was the one that came up with the band name One Direction, because something like they all went in one direction or whatever, and the band members thought it was cool. They became one of the biggest boy bands in the history of boy bands. And Harry Styles was an integral part of that, with his beautiful hair and his funny jokes and his great voice, to be fair. But yeah, then Harry Styles was also the one that in 2016 suggested that they would go on an undefined hiatus. So, hiatus, sabbatical, whatever it is, but they didn't want to exhaust their fan base. So in 2016, they decided to go apart. Now, I've seen enough artist documentaries that suggest that Harry Styles might have been thinking about a solo career anyway. That it was not necessarily to exhaust, to keep the fan base from exhaustion, but that he was also, like excited to dabble his toe into a bit of a solo career. And fuck me, that was a good idea, because he just blossomed into one of the biggest pop stars of our generation, like without a doubt. And that's where I went to with the that's why I went a little bit ahead of schedule with the Instagram clips. Seeing him on stage reminded me, and I don't say this lightly, people, but reminded me of a prime Robbie Williams. Man, how good is he on that stage? He's so natural. He just toys with the crowd. His voice is great. His energy is outstanding, and he doesn't take himself seriously. So he, it's like apparently he uses his because of how he uses fashion, and because of how fashionable he is, his concerts have kind of become like this quasi fashion show type of thing, where audience members, visitors come dressed up as whatever it is, like a safe zone type of thing. So I think it's amazing that you can start such a movement just by, well, whatever. I'm not gonna say just by being yourself, because that is too cheesy for today. But it kind of makes me want to say like himself. Anyway, yeah, because he 2016 straight away signed with a record company, and 2017 Sign of the Times came out, his debut album, and it went straight to number 1. Just stop crying, it's a sign of the time. We gotta get away from here. Great song, man. And that's his first, that's on his debut album. That's one of his, it might have even been his debut single. Like, talking about hit the ground running. Completely different than One Direction, of course. And there's been other, Adore You. Just let me adore you. Walk through fire for you. Also catchy. Watermelon Sugar, of course, caused the world to stand still almost. And then now As It Was, which is also number 1. And this album was put in. So, what's this album's name? I forgot the album's name. But put into the rock and roll, the Rolling Stones top 500 albums straight away in like 490 or something. What the fuck? The guy is 29. It's in the moment. Most of those albums are like fucking Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones. It's crazy. Crazy. So, yeah. Musically, the man is out of touch. It's just unbelievable. Everything that he writes is just a straight hit. It's like Ed Sheeran in his prime or whatever. And then his shows are just incredible. Then he decided to dabble his toe into, I don't know if you say it like that, dabble into acting. Got hired by Christopher Nolan to play in Dunkirk, which is also a great movie. And he did amazing, got good reviews. He did a few other ones, Love You Darling or something, with Olivia Wilde. That had a bit of mixed reviews, also because it was a little bit politically heavy, like I don't know what you call it. But yeah, so that had a bit of mixed reviews, but already played it. Olivia Wilde is also a fucking massive star. So did that. He was the first male to stand alone on the cover of Vogue magazine, fashion. Usually it's either a woman or at least woman and a man, but with a woman. He was the first one to stand on there, and he was wearing a dress. Now, that obviously caused some controversy, but he just said, if you limit your fashion taste by gender, then you miss out on so many great clothes. Now, as a guy who just likes to wear button-up t-shirts and chinos, I am very aware of my limited clothing choices, but I wouldn't go as far as wearing a dress. I think it's cool that he does it though. Like, sometimes I think it kind of goes. It can become a little bit attention-seeking and unnecessary, I guess. But I don't know, with a guy like that and all the things that I've seen from him, like it's if it was just attention seeking the whole time, you wouldn't be able to keep that up, you know. So it's just I think it's part of him. I think it's great that he can be himself on that bigger stage. But because of all that thing, they started to like regularly started to question his sexuality and what he's interested in. He hasn't given the people an answer though, so I think that's also it must have been pressured the shit out of him. And One Direction was obviously girls, mostly his fan base. He's been in public relationships with women, so yeah, all the signs suggest that he's a straight man, but then who likes to wear dresses sometimes. But there is a theory, a conspiracy theory, that Hollywood, or whatever you want to call it, is suppressing a gay relationship that he has with some other guy, some other actor or whatever. And it's like the moon landing. There's just internet web pages dedicated to proving that stuff. So anyway, whatever comes your way when you're a big superstar. Hey, I think it's crazy that he can withstand all that fame and pressure and attention. And on stage, he seems to thrive on it, which is so cool to see. Robbie Williams-esque. And it's not that easy to step from a boy band and go solo, you know? Like Robbie Williams obviously did it. Gary Barlow, also from Take That. You can't say he made it super big. Justin Timberlake probably did it, but, and Beyonce was probably from the girl band. It's hard to go solo because you're part of that group identity and part of that image. So to step out of that can sometimes be less than beneficial. Anyway, as it was, a song that I initially thought was a climate activist song, because it says like, in this world it's just us, it's not the same as it was. And because of 2023 and stuff like that, it's starting to become climate activisty pretty quickly sometimes. But it could also be about a relationship, so I'll leave it to that in the middle. I'm gonna play it on the acoustic guitar, a little bit more quiet than usual. Let's do it. Holding me back, gravity's holding me back. I want you to open the palm of your hand. Why don't we leave it at that? Nothing to say, and everything gets in the way. Seems you cannot be replaced, and I am the one who will stay. Oh, in this world, it's just us. It's not the same as it was. In this world, it's just us. It's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was. It's not the same. Answer the phone. Harry, you're no good alone. Why are you sitting at home on the floor? What kind of pills are you on? Ringing the bell, nobody's coming to help. Your daddy lives by himself. He just wants to know that you're well. Oh, in this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. In this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was. You know it's not the same. Go home, get a headlight, speed internet. I don't want to talk about the way that it was. Leave America, 2 kids follow her. I don't want to talk about who's doing it first. Go home, get a headlight, speed internet. I don't want to talk about the way that it was. Leave America, 2 kids follow her. I don't want to talk about who's doing it first. In this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. In this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same. You know it's not the same. You know it's not the same. Oh, no, it's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was. You know it's not the same. All right, people. Harry Styles, As It Was. It's a beautiful song. I slowed it down a little bit. Just 4 chords. Unbelievable. C, A minor, D, and G. Thank you for watching. See you next week. And whatever. Hold tight. Boom.